Alright, so we've always had trouble getting up in the morning, so for the Brain Studio we decided to focus on sleeping disorders, particularly insomnia. So we both had used this app called Sleep Cycle, and it works by measuring the movement that you are producing throughout the night, and it estimates approximately like how well you slept. So this was interesting to us, but it was pretty limited since it doesn't actually detect your brainwaves. So during sleep, brainwaves slow down from around 20 hertz when you're fully awake to approximately 0 and 1 hertz. And so these slow oscillations are when your memory is actually consolidated. And so people with insomnia, they have issues slowing these oscillations down. And when they produce those oscillations, they tend to die out after approximately 1 second. So with this experiment which was conducted by Neuron, they actually found out that if you send signals at specific moments according to the brain oscillations, you can actually influence the oscillations to continue at that slow rate. And this has been proven to actually influence your memory and increase it by up to 200%. So with that concept, we kind of developed our idea for the Memory Maker Mask. And so it works by using EEGs that are attached to the mask. They measure your brain waves, and from there they take the oscillations and they send that data to an Arduino, and the Arduino processes all this information, and it pretty much sends a message to LEDs and a sound, and it triggers them at specific times according to your oscillations. So on this chart you can see how the science behind it. At the specific time when the wave is going up, it will send the pulses, and this has been proven to significantly affect your memory and also to enhance your sleep during the night. Alright, so here's where it started getting tricky. We needed to actually program the Arduino to pick up the EEG signal. So over the first 2 weeks, we originally just started off by programming an Arduino, and it would work by sending the LEDs at the specific time when your brain oscillation is going upwards. This was useful, however, it didn't actually incorporate the sound, which was known to have the biggest effect. So we had to work on pretty much incorporating the sound by adding another Arduino, because at that point, if we were literally to give it one more line of code, the Arduino would just break. So we had to kind of spread out and diversify into 2 Arduinos. And so one would just process how the EEG data is sent into making some data that's significant to us. And then the other one will send the pulses of sound and light to your brain.
Okay, so we, as Henry said, we were first thinking about putting everything into a pillow to try to just stuff everything inside so that, none of the wires would be all around you while you're sleeping and all confusing. But the problem with this was it's kind of hard to read your brain with the EEGs through the pillow. So, next slide. So this is when we then decided to actually switch over to a headband / mask type idea. And we first got the inspiration from this by just looking online, just looking at the normal design of a sleeping mask. So with the headband, the main problems with this was just kind of trying to get everything inside of it, because you don't want to make anything too bulky that when you're sleeping would be uncomfortable or just uncomfortable for your sleep. And the best part about using the mask is actually that it's portable. So with a pillow, you couldn't really bring it everywhere. You couldn't really take it in the park and sleep with it in the park, or you couldn't take it on a plane or something. That would just be kind of silly. So with the mask, you can take it wherever you go, and it'll be useful in that sense. Go ahead. Yeah. So with the mask, the best part. So when you're wearing the mask, it's best for power naps, and it actually, when you're sleeping, it enhances the capability of your sleep and the consolidation of memory. So it's kind of really good for students. So say they have a test later that day, and they're kind of tired, they want to take a sleep, you know, they can just sleep whenever they want, and it will improve their ability to recall what they just tested for.
So moving forward, we're also looking to test this in sleep clinics, and hopefully when doing that, we're going to kind of adjust the device and adjust the mechanism in picking up the trough, and that will kind of get a more precise data points with the EEG signal and hopefully enable the sleep to enhance as much as possible. And so this is just some of the code that went into powering one of the Arduinos that we're using. And as you can see, we have the mask right up there. It's just running on like a loop right now because we don't have anyone sleeping to actually trigger it. So you can just see the pulses of light every second or so. So that's pretty much the mechanism that's happening when you're asleep throughout the night.
Cool.